On May 28, 2026, the clearest Ohio government actions in the available results were an administrative action by the Supreme Court of Ohio, a statewide public sector event in Columbus, and continuing state and local government activity in Springfield tied to housing and development planning. The search results do not provide a complete statewide ledger of every Ohio action on that date, so this report is limited to what is directly supported by the retrieved sources. 842, the most significant statewide government action in the results, was the Supreme Court of Ohio's administrative release, dated 5/28/2026. 8. The document is titled Administrative Actions and includes proposed amendments to the Supreme Court rules for the government of the Bar of Ohio, specifically Gov. Bar R, I-1 through 3, 10, and 18. 8. Because the result is a court administrative action document rather than a merits opinion, its significance is procedural and regulatory. It concerns bar governance rule changes, not a criminal or civil adjudication. 8. The second notable public government item was the Ohio IT Leadership Forum 2026 in Columbus on May 28, 2026. 4. The event was an invitation-only forum for public sector attendees and was listed by GovTech Events as taking place on Thursday, May 28, 2026, with a registration fee of $50 and an invitation request contact listed for Tamika Watkins. 4. The available result does not identify a specific Ohio agency sponsoring the forum, but the event is clearly aimed at public sector technology leadership and state/local government participants. 4. A major local government action in the available results was the City of Springfield's consideration of its FY 2026 action plan, which had already been in motion by April and was headed for final commission consideration on May 4, 2026, with internal submission to HUD targeted for June 1. 1. At the May 4 City Commission meeting, the city moved second reading of a resolution authorizing the city manager to submit the 2026 action plan to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, along with authorization involving the city manager, law director, community development director, and finance staff. 2. Although this occurred earlier in the month, it is relevant context for late May Ohio government activity because it was part of an active 2026 municipal planning and grant process with a stated deadline immediately after May 28. 1-2. The May 4 Springfield Commission discussion also shows the city acting on other fiscal and infrastructure items, including an emergency action related to a bond renewal deadline of May 20 and a retained amount of $413,975 for remaining work on pavement, street lights, and the lift station. 2. This is not a May 28 action itself, but it is part of the broader Ohio government activity surrounding the same period and may explain ongoing administrative work in the last week of May. 2. There were no clearly identified enforcement actions in the provided results dated May 28, 2026, from Ohio state agencies such as the Attorney General, State Highway Patrol, EPA, or Department of Taxation. 3-7. The Ohio Attorney General result instead points to a Victims Assistance Conference, 2 days in May, held May 18-19, 2026 in Columbus, which is a public event rather than an enforcement action. 3. The ODNR result likewise reflects general agency reporting on spring 2026 wild turkey harvest numbers through May 24. Not an enforcement action. 7. If you want, I can turn this into a stricter newsroom-style timeline with separate sections for statewide actions, legislative activity, agency actions, and local government actions.